the big story here, kids are being fed insects without the knowledge of their parents?
Yes, they asked you. I was contacted by a very disturbed mother who told me that her child came home and reported that she ate bugs that day. So I spoke to this mother. We spoke over the course of a few days. She contacted the principal, and his response was that the children weren't forced to eat the bugs and that her child simply consented to eating these bugs. And that it's 100% above board and that this is part of the school curriculum. They've introduced the bugs as part of a science regarding the science curriculum regarding sustainability and climate change. And as from the principal, because eating bugs will become foods that will be eaten in the future. So this is part of the children's curriculum. I don't know if parents were notified that this was part of the children's curriculum. This mother certainly did not know that her child was going to be fed bugs. And I mean, little children, you know, they would think that it's fun. They would think that this is something new to experiment with. They would have no idea about the toxicity of bugs. The school is giving children bugs that are toxic and you know could potentially be lethal for them, and this is just part of the curriculum now. It's normal because in the future we're just we have to accept now that we're just going to be eating bugs.
I can't. I don't have any words for that. If I found out that the school is feeding Nolan or Eli bugs when they return, I would probably end up in jail. Honestly, I mean, without my permission, without my knowledge, there's no science project. There's no justification, global warming. There's no justification for feeding insects to children at all. Illegal
No,
to
there
not
isn't.
affirm a person's chosen gender. Illegal.
This is another example of some laws that have been passed while we were focused on lockdowns, while we were focused on all of our civil liberties being eroded, Stu. I actually missed this at the end of last year, but I've just found out. So this is under the Daniel Andrews government Change or Suppression Conversion Practices Prohibition Act of 2021. If you attempt to dissuade someone from changing gender, you can face up to 10 years in jail and a $200,000 fine. Organizations can be fined up to $1 million. But listen to this. It also bans people praying for someone who approaches them saying that they have, that they want prayer. So even if that person asks for prayer with the fact that they feel confused or they need guidance, that pastor or that minister can face those same fines. On top of that, the new laws make it risky for parents not to affirm their children's gender, which make it, and they make it illegal for parents to try to stop their children from taking puberty blockers. We can see that this is rolling out over many countries, Stu, but I was particularly shocked about the fact that, traditionally, if someone has a struggle with something, they approach a church leader for prayer. They may not even be Christian, but they find comfort in that. No, under the Daniel Andrews government, that is illegal.
These people are hell sent, spawns of Satan, directly from the devil himself. Along with eating bugs, yes, we're going to have to accept the fact that the future looks like this. Demonic, satanic people want to see children die, and they want to molest them and grope them and touch them and get off sexually by forcing them to switch their gender. This is the future if people don't rise up and stop this. I've got about a minute left here, and I want to hear about this social credit system and these teachers being cut pay 18 weeks for not submitting to the jab.
Yes, again, this is an example of how all of the plans of the New World Order are tested here first, Stu. Unvaccinated Queensland teachers are allowed back to work, but now for the next 18 weeks, they will be penalised, and they've actually called it a punishment, and they are facing disciplinary action for not complying with previous mandates. So if it isn't bad enough that they lost their jobs, now there's additional measures in place to remind you, hey, you better listen to the government no matter what. The penalties are specific to individual circumstances, but equate to a cut between $25 and $90 a week over 18 weeks, proportionate to normal pay. Now, people may say that's not much, but that's not the point here. The point here is that they are conditioning you to accept a UBI, okay, for the future UBIs and pay cuts, you don't comply with climate change policies, you don't comply with future injections, your income is going to be affected. This is a flex of their power, and this is only going to get worse, Stu.
And they have the power specifically in Australia because everybody gave up their guns. Don't ever give an inch on the Second Amendment here in the United States. Don't ever give up your guns. Maria Z, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Stu. God bless.